Welcome back to Unscripted, Carwash.com's video interview series connecting you with market leaders. Joining me once again on Unscripted, happy to welcome in Alex Lemmen, CEO of Tommy's Express Car Wash. Alex, how you been doing?
We are great, Rich. Thanks for hosting again.
Yes, not a problem. You're actually one of my first guests on this video interview series way back about 2 years ago now, and I appreciate you taking some time here to discuss some of the things that are going on with Tommy's. Obviously, one of our industry's largest conveyor chain operators. So I know Tommy's recently made the news on Carwash.com, announcing 4 new locations, this time in Texas and Michigan and Nebraska. So what are the updates on these new locations, Alex? And do you have any other significant updates from the summer of 2022 here?
Yeah, absolutely. No, we're very happy and proud of our franchise owners. There are 4 different owners getting their stores open. That's the whole reason we exist, to help put people into business, local business owners. So no, continuing on our growth path as a company. You know, I started here 4 years ago. We had 6 stores, and one of those stores you just mentioned was number 125. And we do, I think some people know about Tommy's Express, but we do all ground up new construction and new builds. And that's been the strategy, and is the strategy. It's a synchronized model and facility that is hard to replicate through acquiring other car washes that have been built differently. So we're very excited about the growth. We've got another 20 openings yet left this year of new stores happening. So we'll end the year near 150 locations open, and that's it's on track. It's we've got very ambitious franchise partners. I think over 600 total units now have been contracted, meaning someone has been awarded the franchise right to build a Tommy's Express location in their market. So we got about 150 built to those 600, and look to finish out the rest of them while hopefully adding some more over the next few years.
Oh, that's awesome. 600. Well, congratulations on these new locations to you and the team and the franchise partners that you mentioned. So, in the press release, Alex, and I did get a chance to interview Ryan Essenberg earlier this year for a belt article. He's the founder and president of Tommy's, and we discussed conveyor belts and their benefits to a car wash. But the press release noted Tommy's being able to process over 200 vehicles per hour at these locations. So outside of conveyor belts, can you tell me what it takes to process that many vehicles in an hour?
Yeah, no, absolutely. We've processing's been our X factor for years. We're a 50-year-old company, have had corporate stores for 50 years, started in 1969. And even back when we used to, the first car wash the Essenberg family owned was a drive-in and then back out car wash, and did well over 1,000 cars a day, where the car couldn't even exit out the end of the tunnel. So kind of been processing experts over the years, which the whole franchise is built on. And it's a lot of little things. It's no one thing that leads to that. So our record hour, we did 239 cars in 1 hour here at a corporate store in Michigan, clean, shiny, dry. And the belt is a part of it. The cleaning equipment, the brush layout, the blower layout, some of our detergent formulas, some of which are proprietarily owned and developed here. Those need to be optimized to wash cars that fast. And then really what's most important in any business, no matter how great your product or technology, is just awesome teams. When you're working on site that day, I'll tell you the loader position's the MVP. And we owe all the credit to those team members nationwide that have been through Tommy University and trained on exactly how to load cars and achieve record success like that. But even things like our building layout, where other team members, we teach them where to stand and what to look for, what buttons to push or not push when cars are that close together in the tunnel on that flat belt conveyor. It's a combination of all the operations and equipment and detergents working together. And of course, you need that many cars to show up. And so that's obviously all of the marketing and branding that we do, and our app technology that creates that much demand at these facilities. But once the cars are there, team members are the MVP. The equipment and detergents have to work together too to make it happen.
It's fantastic. And I see a guest appearance by a locomotive buzzing by behind you. So that's fantastic. But yeah, despite all the automation in the industry, obviously, a lot of times it still comes down to the folks out there on the front lines, and they are the MVPs, as you alluded to. You know, something else, Alex, that the press release mentioned, and I found interesting, was Canada, and the news announcement mentioned a Canadian location. So can you tell me, what is the vision for and the potential of this country for Tommy's?
Yeah, absolutely. Our vision is to build a global car wash brand. And so that obviously doesn't stop in the United States. We've been a part of car wash projects. We've been in the business of manufacturing equipment even before we had the franchise brand Tommy's Express. We've done car wash projects in about 10 countries, helped equip tunnels and get operators running. So there is a lot of potential internationally. There's still a ton of potential in the US. You know, we think we haven't nearly built out the market to where demand is met. So that remains our main priority. But Canada is a natural extension. It's obviously the borders touch. There's similar weather patterns. And so, yeah, we've had growing interest from franchise partners there and have signed several on to build out that market, and a ton of potential. You know, I'd say like what the US is going through the last 5 years with private equity investment and rapid building of car washes, Canada is well positioned to follow a similar suit. And we've got some good partners on board and started there, and some good towns to get that train rolling. So US remains the primary focus, but Canada is a natural second, and we're doing a little bit with the franchise and some other international markets, but not near the pace we will in Canada.
Yes, sure. Easy to get that train rolling, no pun intended, with that train rolling past you in the background, right? So, you know, as you mentioned, now operating over 125 locations across the US. What's the 5-year goal for this company? I know you mentioned, you know, wanting to expand globally here. Just focusing on the US, what's the 5-year goal for the company in this country?
Yeah, we've got a pretty good path we're focused on to getting over 500 units in the US in the next 5 years. And as we mentioned, a lot of those are already contracted, or the franchise rights have been awarded. And then, as my fellow car wash operators and industry personnel know, sometimes they take a little while to build, to get approved by the cities and get open. And so, but that's the goal in the next 5 years. We think that, you know, we're already working on, those have to be built, the franchise rights are awarded. We're already working on what's the path to 2000 and what's the timeline to do that, recruiting operators that run multiple units of other brands or are in markets that we desire to enter. So next 5 years will really get us to, you know, 100 stores was a big milestone. 200 stores is a big milestone. 500 stores is that next milestone. But we're already working on what comes after that. And we hope to continue our responsible, successful growth where the stores perform well. We're not going to grow. The goal is not quick growth. It's having the most successful car washes in the US. And we'll build responsibly as many of those as we can to maintain the high performance at each location.
Yeah, it's a fair point. And you also mentioned it in your second response. You can wash 250 cars an hour. You can wash 2 cars an hour. If it's not clean, dry, and shiny, then what's the point, right? So now, do you foresee any significant challenges, roadblocks, or headwinds? You know, we're dealing obviously with some economic challenges here, even some global challenges in growing the car wash market and other markets, quite frankly, around the world. But do you forecast any significant challenges that might slow either your company and or the car wash market heading into 2023?
Yeah, there's uncertainties out there right now. We remain very confident, but I think it's important for all of us in the industry to be aware of all those uncertainties, what's happened with inflation, fuel prices going up. And if you remember back in 08, 09, 10, 11, you know, most car wash industry didn't have club memberships. And so we were operators back then and have data for what high fuel prices and more recessionary economic status did to the volume at the wash is this is really a first time going through it with a well-built out club membership program. So we remain very confident. I mean, it's becoming more of a service that people are aware of, having the membership and that they need and that they really value. And a lot of times in periods of high inflation or higher interest rates, more recessionary trades, people take better care of their cars. A lot of times it's the second largest asset of the average US household. So on the 5-10 year outlook, our confidence is not changed at all. I think it will make it harder the next few years, just with inflation and higher interest rates. The cost to build these has gone up, construction costs and other costs. And so people need more cash to get started. Interest rates and debt service are higher. We could see some pullback in unique visits or discretionary car wash purchases if inflation of other categories remain high for consumers. So, it hasn't changed our very confident outlook on the US being underserved and this being a service that everyone needs and deserves in the country. But I think it'll be a little harder for the next few years, but not in a way that's changed our strategy or really our growth trajectory or our investment in adding team members or new technology or new CapEx. But definitely think there's some headwinds we'll all be overcoming as we go.
All right, sounds good. Well, glad to see, despite these challenges, that you're still on track to meet your goals. And I appreciate you taking some time to discuss some of those goals with me here today, Alex. And it was great seeing you again. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Rich, and happy washing to everyone listening. We're blessed to be in a great industry. Take care.
Absolutely.